You can't make good decisions unless you have good information and can separate facts from opinion and speculation. A quote from Colin Powell. We're losing the war within. Let's face it, we're not short on opinions these days. What we're short on is truth. Everywhere you look, decisions are being made on rumors, memes, out of context clips, and somebody said on social media. The results? We're not just divided, we're dismantling ourselves. No outside invasion required. We're doing just fine at that job internally. What Colin Powell was trying to tell us when General Powell said those words, he wasn't being poetic. He was being practical. He lived by what he called the 40-70 rule. Don't decide when you have less than 40% of the facts. That's guessing. Don't wait until you have 100% because that moment never comes. Make your call when you've got between 40 and 70%. That's the sweet spot between hesitation and recklessness. Today, though, we're operating closer to 10% fact and 90% outrage. That's a recipe for disaster, not just for individuals, but for our democracy itself. The No Kings Rally, a case study in modern America. Take today's No King rallies, for example, a nationwide protest movement that's sweeping across all 50 states. The organizers, including individuals, ACLU and other activist coalitions, say they're standing against authoritarian tendencies in government. Their message? No one is above the law. No kings in a democracy. Fair enough. Freedom of speech is one of the greatest pillars of this country. But here's the rub. While many protesters believe they're defending democracy, others see it as an event funded and fueled by outside agitators with a deep disdain for America itself. Republican Speaker Mike Johnson went as far as to label it a hate America rally, with ties to pro-Hamas and Antifa-aligned groups. That's a bold accusation, and as of now, there's no verified evidence that the majority of protesters are paid actors or foreign funded. The claim remains political rhetoric, not proven fact. Still, the mere existence of such claims and the willingness of millions to believe or dismiss them instantly shows exactly how far we've fallen from Powell's warning. Today, truth isn't something we speak, it's something we choose. And once that happens, facts lose their power. The real danger isn't the protest, it's the polarization. Look, protests are part of democracy. They're messy, loud, and sometimes uncomfortable, but they're also a sign that people still care. The real threat isn't whether the No Kings marchers are right or wrong, it's that half the nation sees them as patriots while the other half sees them as traitors. That's how nations rot from the inside, not by invasion, but by internal corrosion. When dialogue dies, suspicions grow. When suspicions grow, trust collapses. And when trust collapses, well, you don't need an army at the borders. How we got here. Let's be blunt. Social media is gasoline on this fire. It rewards anger over accuracy, speed over substance, and clicks over context. It has trained us to form opinions in seconds, not through thought, but through emotion. The loudest voice wins, and the calm, factual one gets buried. That's how misinformation spreads faster than truth. It's why some people will swear today's rallies are heroic, while others call them foreign-backed treason. And neither side can produce solid proof. What we can still do before it's too late. We don't have to accept this as our new normal. Here's how to fight back. 1. Demand verified facts before forming opinions. Ask, what do I know and how do I know it, before sharing or believing anything. 2. Pause before you share. That extra 10 seconds could save your credibility and maybe our country's sanity. 3. Talk to people who disagree. Yes, really. It's uncomfortable, but it's the only way to rebuild bridges. 4. Support real journalism and critical thinking. Facts cost money to verify. Support outlets that actually check them. The bottom line. America isn't collapsing because of enemies abroad. It's fraying because we've forgotten how to think critically, how to separate fact from noise, truth from team loyalty. The No Kings rally are just today's example of a larger disease, a nation that no longer agrees on what's real. Colin Powell warned us decades ago, you can't make good decisions unless you have good information. He wasn't just talking about the military. He was talking about us. So maybe it's time to stop waging war on each other. Start waging war on misinformation. And remember that the real patriot isn't the loudest voice in the room. It's the one still willing to listen. Stay safe, stay secure, and make it a rule to think twice before clicking that send button. Thanks for tuning in. Now go hit that subscribe button and stay curious, my friends.